Welcome to the Strategies That Stack podcast. I'm your host, Victoria H. Boyd. I'm a corporate escapee and marketing consultant, and I'm on a mission to help you build a marketing strategy that is so stacked, you become absolutely unignorable. Each week, I will bring you real stories, the actual data, and the true strategies that have propelled online creators and entrepreneurs to the top of their industries. So grab your coffee and let's jump in. In today's episode, we're going to talk all about why the right marketing plan can make or break your online business. So before we really jump into all of that, I want to start by talking about the necessity of a marketing plan in your business. Now, my absolute favorite service that I offer, and this is not going to be a whole plug on the service, I swear, I promise, but my favorite service that I offer in my business is my 90-day marketing plan. I spend an entire week on your business, an entire week on your industry, your target audience, your niche, your products, your services, whatever. And I write a marketing plan for it based on your capacity and all of the data that is out there for me to reference. And I love it. I love it so much. And the return is absolutely there for those of my clients that actually implement everything that I write. And I'm just really in love with that service. So anyway, like I said, I'm not going to make this like a whole thing about that service because that would be really boring for all of us involved. Anyway, I want to start by talking about the necessity of a marketing plan. So we can't do that without first establishing what a marketing plan is. So a marketing plan is much more than a document just outlining your advertising strategies and what content you're going to post and when you're going to post it. Look, that's great, but that's really more of a content calendar. And don't get me wrong, I love a content calendar. I sell content calendars. I write content calendars. I love a content calendar, but it is not in any way a replacement for a marketing strategy. It's very much, I have a marketing strategy and I have a content calendar. Like they work together in tandem beautifully. So a good marketing plan is a comprehensive and detailed approach that outlines your business's overall marketing efforts. So in a nutshell, it is designed to help you identify your target customers, understand their needs and their preferences, and define how you're going to reach and what you're going to communicate with them to effectively sell the thing that you are trying to sell, to drive that demand for whatever launch you have coming up. So it really encompasses all the elements of your marketing, including your branding, your product. And when I say product throughout this episode, and whenever I'm talking about marketing, I truly mean it as one of the 4 Ps of traditional marketing. And those 4 Ps being price, position, product, and placement. So I really mean it as your product is whatever it is that you are selling. So if product doesn't make sense to you, just imagine I'm saying your service, or imagine I'm saying your course, or imagine I'm saying your lip gloss. And also the thing that you're selling. So a step beyond just the product, but also like the physical item or the tangible item that you are selling. How you position it, the pricing, and the distribution channels, as well as your promotion strategies. So like I said, a good marketing plan has all of that included. Now you might be like, okay, that sounds great, but what is that actually going to do for me? So the benefits of having a marketing plan is that it literally guides your business decisions. So a well-crafted marketing plan gives you a clear direction for your business and your activities. One of the cool things, and when I'm in my own business implementing like my own marketing strategy that I wrote and stuff like that, I find myself spending a lot less on really stupid investments. And this could look like, I don't know about you, but I love to collect courses. I love to collect templates. I love to be in memberships. I love to be in communities. I love to be a cute little fly on the wall and sometimes be like a really heavy participant. But when I have a marketing plan that I am following, I am doing everything in my power to stick to that plan. And if something doesn't fit, I don't look at it. I don't give it a second thought. I don't spend time dwelling on that possibility. I really just focus on my business decisions and I focus on what I've already decided. The second benefit of having a marketing plan is that if you have a team, and even if you're a team of one, you're still a team, even as a solopreneur, it aligns everybody that is working in your business. So a marketing plan helps bring your team into the conversation, get them on the same page, and helps everybody know what they're working towards and how they contribute to your goals as a business. And this alignment really can promote consistency in your messaging and your branding across all marketing channels, as well as help your team understand like their role in the business success, which can be invaluable and can really help out the morale of your team. So even if like you don't have an employee, but maybe you have a VA that does 10 hours a month, let them know what you're working on. Let them know your marketing plan. Let them know what you're working towards, because that alignment will help out in every other aspect of your business. It also helps you focus. So another benefit of a marketing plan is that it helps you focus. I touched on this a little bit in benefit number 1, which was guiding your business decisions. But helping you focus as an online business, it can be so easy to get distracted by trends and fads and new softwares and new tactics and like all kinds of things. But a marketing plan will keep you focused on what's essential in your business and help you allocate all of your resources, so time and money, effectively. It's really going to cause you to hone in on what matters. And the last benefit I want to go over of a marketing plan is that it enables the measurement for success and evaluation. So with a marketing plan, you are going to be setting clear and measurable objectives for your business and for your marketing. Doing this allows you to monitor your progress along the way and understand really what's working, what's not, and allows you to make those necessary adjustments along the way that without a marketing plan, you're not going to have anything to compare to and anything to analyze and make sure that you are like living up to that. So that is really the necessity of having a marketing plan. Now, I'm not somebody that typically like speaks in any sort of absolutes in my business or even in like my personal life or like talking to me in any way. I don't usually speak in any sort of absolutes, and that's not at all what I'm trying to do right now. But one of the things that inspired this episode, as well as like my favorite service and stuff like that, is the fact that I'm seeing like so many people go back to their corporate role, or so many people like going back to getting a part-time job or something like that. And I want to be clear, there's absolutely no shame in that. But it just feels like a shame to me that I'm seeing people that I started my business with way back in like 2016, and maybe like we left our jobs around the same time in 2018. Like I'm seeing so many of them like go back and be like, oh, hey, I'm like looking for a full-time role right now. And that's great if that's like the journey that you want to take and that's what you want to do in your business. And I'm all for you living your truth, whatever that looks like. But part of me is also, man, if they'd just been a little bit more consistent, or if they just implemented this one strategy, or if they'd raise their prices, or if like they would still be here on the online space. And like the space isn't for everybody. Like I get it. Like I've gone through intense burnout, which is like part of the reason this podcast went on such a long break, such a long like little siesta. Like I couldn't show up and enjoy this passion project that is the Make It Marketable podcast, like without some like unintentional breaks, honestly. But anyway, having a poor marketing plan really can make or break your business. And I want to talk a little bit about some common mistakes that come up when you have a marketing plan or when you're making a marketing plan. So common mistake number 1 is undefined goals. And I've had a lot of clients come to me that are, I would say, on the more established side of things. And by more established, like they've been in the online space for 10 plus years. They maybe have a team of 3, maybe even have a full-time employee, or maybe employ their spouse. One of the most common mistakes when they come to me is like that they have undefined goals. They could be saying something like, oh, I want to grow my audience. Okay, seems well defined, but by how much? By what percentage do you want to grow your audience month over month? So one of the most common mistakes in marketing plans is the absence of clear and measurable goals. That doesn't mean it has to be like a quote SMART goal, unquote, or anything like that, but there should be defined objectives. Otherwise, it just becomes really challenging to assess the effectiveness of your marketing and like what's working. And it could be really hard to make any adjustments without goals that you are working towards. So mistake number 2 is not understanding your capacity. I hate that meme or that saying that we all have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. I don't know about you. I don't have a housekeeper. I don't have a nanny. I'm not a mom, but like I don't have a nanny. I take care of my dogs myself. I cook dinner for me and my husband. I do laundry. I work. I have client work. I have my own work and my own business. I have hobbies. I want to go to the gym. I don't have the same 24 hours, and I don't think you do either, that like Beyonce has. So you really have to tap into your own capacity and understand what your capacity is. Like my capacity, as most of the time a solopreneur, I very rarely have a VA in my business these days, is very different than like when I had a VA or when I had like somebody that was helping me with client work. Like those two capacity levels for me in my business were very different. And another thing, I know I just weighed heavily on like teams, but like your energetic capacity also needs to be considered when writing a marketing plan. So that is like something that like I ask my clients before I start writing their marketing plan is, tell me about your energy levels. Tell me about your capacity. Tell me about what you like. Tell me about what you don't like. If I have a client that's, I hate being on video, I'm going to write a more like text and email based strategy for them than I would somebody that's, man, I love video. Like I could be on video all day, every day. Like those are very different capacity levels. So the third mistake is not understanding your target audience. So another common mistake that I see made is that, and this is not really, I won't say this is a mistake. It's just a different way of thinking. But like sometimes my clients come to me and they're like, my target audience is a woman between the ages of 35 and 50, getting ready to quit her full-time job. She wants to start a business. And all of those things are great. But what I'm seeing to be more effective than looking at those demographics in 2023, and I was seeing this start to emerge in 2022, is instead focusing on communities. So being like, oh, my ICA is hanging out in this specific person's community. So very broad example, but maybe that person's hanging out in Oprah's community. Like they are following Oprah or they are following Amy Porterfield. Focus on who that person's looking up to, what communities that person is hanging out with. So like maybe that person binge watches every or listens to every episode of Amy Porterfield's podcast or Jenna Kutcher's podcast. They're likely going to be in those Facebook groups and they're going to be hanging out and running in those communities. So instead, I really want you to think about where they are, what their needs are, and their online behavior. I don't care anymore about their age. I don't care about the color of their skin. I don't care about where they live. Guys, it's 2023. Especially if you're not a brick and mortar or don't ship any product, which most of my followers and most of the people that listen to this podcast aren't physical product sellers. We don't care. It doesn't matter. A majority of the people in my audience right now are overseas. UK, Australia, Canada, not that Canada's overseas, or like the other side of the states in LA, Seattle, Arizona. Location doesn't matter anymore. So really think about your target audience in a different way and try to focus on the community versus the person. Mistake number 4 is choosing the wrong marketing channels. Like not all marketing channels are equally effective for all businesses. So like right now, TikTok is super popular. Then there's like this new emerging app, Lemonade, but those might not be where your ICA is hanging out. I tried experimenting with Twitter. I didn't see any ROI there, although I know like I consume a lot of Twitter content. So it's just a very interesting thing that you need to consider is that your marketing channels that you're currently marketing on might not be right for you. Same thing with strategies. So I didn't even have this one written down in my outline, but choose a different marketing strategy. So, for example, if your audience is burnt out on bundles, don't host a bundle. If your audience is not going to read blogs, don't post blog posts with the intention on them reading it. Really focus on those tactics and those channels that your audience is going to want to consume. Then the last mistake is ignoring metrics and analytics. So neglecting to monitor and analyze these numbers and this truly like marketing data in your business prevents you from recognizing what's working and what's not, and can cause you to continue to invest in ineffective strategies for your business. Now, as you can imagine, there are a ton of consequences for having a poor marketing strategy or not having a marketing plan at all. So some of those consequences are like you can lack direction. Like a marketing plan is literally a map in your business. You're also going to waste a lot of money. Like you can spend money on initiatives that aren't aligned with your goals, aren't going to reach your target audience, and that's going to lead to a lot of wasted resources and poor return on the investment. You can also, plain and simple, lose sales and have decreased revenue if you don't have a good marketing plan. And you can decrease your market visibility. So you might just not stand out in a crowded online space, which can be like really scary and really hurt your stance in the space. So let's go over like the basics of a successful marketing plan. So number one is clear and measurable goals. We talked a lot about this, but you have to have a really clear sense of direction and a benchmark against which you can measure your success and measure your progress. So for example, when I'm hosting summits, I'm looking at my first summit and I'm like, okay, these are the numbers of my first summit. Yes, I'm changing things, like I'm changing the niche, or maybe I'm changing the speakers. Like there's a lot of variables that go into hosting a summit, which is one of like the key strategies in my business. But I'm going back to like those original numbers and I'm saying, okay, this is what I did my first summit. This is what I want to do my second summit. And I'm starting to like look at those numbers on a day by day basis and comparing them back to my goals as well as what I've seen happen previously. Number two is your target audience. So I no longer recommend looking at demographics. Instead, I want you to consider the communities that your ideal client avatar is hanging out in, which I talked about very recently. Messaging. So a successful marketing plan is going to have compelling messaging. This involves creating engaging, relevant, and valuable content that resonates with your audience, whether it be a blog post, a social media update, an email, or a landing page. Your message needs to be consistent and align with your brand voice. Next up, we have implementing a marketing strategy for customer acquisition and retention. So your marketing plan should also have something in there about how you acquire customers, how you retain those customers. So it could be SEO strategies. It could be social media ad campaigns for increased visibility. It could be email marketing flash sales to nurture leads and convert people that have maybe just not made a decision to work with you yet. It could be loyalty programs. It could be offering incentives. It could be an affiliate program. There's so many things you can do to acquire customers as well as retain the customers that you have. And last but not least, you also need to analyze data. Like that is a big part of, and it comes full circle to the first point that I mentioned is clear and measurable goals. You also have to analyze that data. So it should be flexible. And one of the things that your marketing plan needs to do is analyze the metrics and make necessary adjustments as you go. Which I'm going to do a whole episode on analyzing data in marketing because there are so many different things you can focus on and it can get really noisy really quickly where you might not really understand like what's working and what's not. So as we wrap up this episode about marketing plans, we have to remember that the success of any online business really relies on a well-crafted and effectively executed marketing plan. It's not enough to just write it. You also have to implement it and do that work every single day. And the online business every single day becomes more dynamic, especially with AI. It becomes more fierce competitor wise, and you really have to be ready to stand out. And if you take nothing else from this episode, I really want you to know that what you do today, what you do tomorrow, or what you do this month is going to be what contributes to your success in 30, 60, 90 days, or even 120 days from now. So if you take nothing else from this episode, I want you to remember and I want you to know that the work that you do today, the work that you do this month contributes to your success in 30, 60, 90 days, even 120 days, or going into winter and your fall promotions and things like Black Friday and Christmas shopping and all of those things. So the work you do today truly will set the tone for your success in the future. Now, if you loved this episode, you want more content on marketing strategies, maybe you want to write your own, I launched a new membership in April that I love so much called Conversion Catalyst Club. Conversion Catalyst Club is the place to be if you are ready to stop overthinking your marketing and start executing from a proven step-by-step strategy every single month to get the right people rushing into your next cart open and rushing to your website every time you launch a new product. CCC is like truly my favorite thing ever. It is designed out of my favorite service, the 90-day marketing plan that I softly plugged earlier in the episode. And every month you get a marketing plan written by me, literally done for you that you just have to apply to your own business. a monthly training that kind of helps you figure out something new to implement in your business. So you don't have to seek out a new strategy. You can go through a whole library of strategies. A Voxer office hour day once a month that literally puts me in your pocket. So you can ask me any questions on how to implement the marketing plan in your business. You also get a Q&A call, which is literally like group consulting where you can ask me any questions and anything you need for your upcoming promotions and upcoming launch. And then we also are doing quarterly sprints where we can co-work and get action or take action on all of the things we're learning and all of the things that you want to do, but maybe haven't done yet. Inside Conversion Catalyst Co. And you can go to conversioncatalyst.co to join the membership. I would love to see you there. And I will literally be helping you do all of the things we talked about in this episode inside of that program.